of interviewing a very special guest, Mr. Gordon, and he's a globally recognized leadership expert, international business speaker, author, and transformation coach. With senior leadership experience in Fortune 100 companies, Gordon has inspired leaders and organizations worldwide to achieve measurable results through his fast methodology. He's also the author of Fast Four Principles Everyone Needs to Achieve Success and Drive Results, a book that has been finalist for Practical Management Book of the Year. Apart from his professional life, he's also a marathon runner and rugby enthusiast. So it's a privilege to welcome you, Mr. Gordon Tredgold. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, so my first question to you is, can you share how your leadership journey began?
Yeah, my leadership journey began when I was 10 years old, but I didn't realize that until later when I played in a rugby team that was um, average. We won as many games as we lost, but we managed to get to the cup final, and our coach changed the way we thought, and it allowed us to be the team in the final who were the best team in the league. And he did that by creating belief, giving us a plan that we could execute, and that allowed us to go and do it. And from that, that showed me what the power of leadership could be, that it could take average teams and make them into winning teams. So that was what inspired me to become a leader, and I use that running projects in IT, working for large corporations, and then I wanted to share what I'd learned with others and become an author and speaker. I can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
Oops, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay,
Every single meeting, every single day, somebody tries to talk on you.
exactly. So, what inspired you to become a leadership coach and speaker?
I think what inspired me was that there's a lot of misconceptions about what leadership is. People tend to talk more about management, and I got such good feedback from the teams that I led that I wanted to share my approach to it, because I felt it was a better approach in that it was appreciated by the people. And if the people appreciate the way you lead, then they'll continue to follow you and continue to have success. So I thought that would be a better use of my time rather than leading one team to teach thousands of people how to lead like I did.
Okay, so you've held senior roles in Fortune 100 companies. So, what was your biggest takeaway from that experience?
Biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you look at the statistics for projects, over 80, even 90% of them fail. And I worked in IT, which is very technology rich. And you would think that the majority of failures were because of the complexity of technology, but that wasn't the case. The majority of projects failed because people didn't know what the goal was, they didn't understand why they were doing it or where they were on the journey. So the failures of projects were more related to leadership than technology. And I think that's the biggest takeaway for me. You're on mute.
Okay. I like how you explained that so clearly, and it was a very good takeaway. So, what qualities do you believe every great leader should must have?
So I think so. That's a great question, and I answer that two ways. One, you might be a little bit young to answer, just because of your experience. But I always tell people that what are the qualities that you like in a leader? What are the things that make you follow a leader? And if you like those qualities, then you should exhibit those qualities. Because if you would follow that person, then maybe people would follow you. So that's one answer. My other answer is that I think an important quality is that a leader has to care. He has to care about the people that he looks after, make sure he puts them in a position where they can be successful but without feeling threatened or under pressure or at risk of burnout. And we do that by setting people up for success and then supporting them. But you can only do that if you care about the people as much as you care about the results. So, caring, I think, is the most important quality.
Okay, so that's really insightful. And my next question is, how do you personally define true leadership?
True, how do I define true leadership?
Yeah.
So, leadership, that's a really good question. How do I define true leadership? So I think there's a lot of definitions of leadership, and I think one of the definitions that I hear a lot is that great leaders create more leaders. But when we look at some of the greatest leaders in our times, although they have done that to some extent, what they've done is they've they've helped transform things, and that's what I think leadership is for me. It's about transforming things. It's about making things better, not just for the leader but for everyone. And that's what I think true leadership is. And if you do that by making more leaders, that could be one way of doing it. But I think true leadership is about improving the situation for everybody.
Great. So, what was the most challenging part of your book that wrote?
Or
Like,
fast.
what was the most challenging part? Like, yeah, part.
So the
It was fast.
yeah. So what was the most challenging part? I think the most challenging. Now this is going to sound strange, but I think the most challenging part was that fast is about four things. It's about focus, simplicity, focus, accountability, simplicity, and transparency. And whilst I'm a strong believer in those, the hardest part was convincing myself that this was a book that other people would appreciate. I thought it might be perceived as too simple. Even though for me it's fundamental, it also had a feeling that it was a little bit simple. But once I got over that and wrote it, I got such great feedback that people really liked it and they appreciated its simplicity. But for me, the hardest part was that recognizing its value myself.
That's fascinating. So, what motivated you to create fast?
So what motivated me to create fast was that, coming back to what I said earlier, the majority of projects fail, well over 90% of them. And as somebody who had had a lot of success, what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a repeatable process that I could teach to other people so that they could make their project successful. So I looked at what caused things to fail and then what we could do to avoid those failures. And that's how FAST was born. And it gives people a toolkit that allows them to put themselves in a position where their projects can be successful.
So, that's good. You're an international speaker. What topic do you enjoy speaking about the most?
What do I enjoy about speaking the most?
Like, what
Well,
topic? Yes.
Well, I like the travel that comes with it, so that's nice. I think the thing I like most about it is the moment when you see the look in people's eyes when they go, "Oh yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
get that now. That will work, and I can use that." And I like to change people's thinking and to give them that. That reflection moment where they think, okay, I understand this, I can do this.
Right. So my next question is, what's the most memorable speech or event you have ever delivered?
The most memorable speech I've delivered. So the most memorable for me, not necessarily for my audience, but the most memorable for me was when my wife's Belgian, so we speak French at home. And I decided that I would do a TEDx talk in French. I had never spoken to an audience in French, and I had to learn it. Unfortunately, it was only a 15-minute talk, and I delivered that in France to 500 French people. And I've never been so nervous in my life as when I gave that talk because although I speak French, it's not always perfect. So when I wrote the talk, I wrote it perfectly, and I had to memorize it. And because I'm knowledgeable on my topics, I don't have to memorize them as much in English because I can get through it. But in French, I had to memorize it, and that was really um, nerve wracking. So when I successfully delivered that talk, for me that was the most memorable. And not only that, but after the talk, a lot of people said mine was the only talk they understood. So that was as a non-French person to be the most understood French speaker was a great win.
Wow, that's interesting. Great. Many people can learn from it.
Yeah.
So my next question is, how do you connect with diverse global audiences?
Sorry, you repeat the question.
Yeah, sure. How do you connect with diverse global audiences?
So for me, comes easily now because I have over 35 years experience, and um, 25 years ago I did my first job overseas. So I was working with um, Belgian people, Dutch people, Americans, and from then on all of my work has been on a global level with global teams. And when you're speaking to people whose first language isn't English, you have to make sure. I mean, I ran a team of 1,000 people. And if you share a message that they don't understand first time, you don't have the time to be able to go and tell 1,000 people individually again. So it forces you to communicate in a way that is basic, but without being condescending or too simple. So you make your messages very simple and very clear. And I find that that works with audiences, um, all English speaking audiences, and all generations because people can understand what you say. And when you're speaking, it's not about the wisdom you share, it's about the lessons people learn and understand. So we have to make sure our messages are clear and understood.
Great. That's a powerful point you made.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
keep it
so
keep it simple. Keep it simple. Don't use big words if you don't have to.
exactly. Okay, so my next question is, what advice would you give to young aspiring speakers?
Young aspiring speakers. Um, so my advice would be Um, well, number one, get out and speak as much as you can, whether it's speaking for free, whether it's speaking for clubs, at your church, your mosque, wherever. Take every opportunity to speak. The more you speak, the more comfortable you will get in front of an audience. And then the other thing I would say is that when you are writing your talk, start with the end in mind. What are the three things you want people to remember about your talk? And then write your talk to make sure those are the three things that they'll remember. It's too easy to, I've just written a book called 20 Habits of Ineffective Leaders. I couldn't give a talk on that because people won't remember 20 things. I could give a talk on three things that kill your leadership or fast four things, but you can't overload people with information. You've got to keep your messages to a minimum of three or four. And then the first thing I would say, practice, 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 take every opportunity. Second would be think about the three key messages and then write your talk to emphasize that. And then the third thing I would say is add humor. People remember a lot more if they are laughing. I'm not sure if you've frozen. You don't look like you're moving now.
Okay, so can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so it was my tiny internet problem.
It's okay.
I'm sorry for that.
It's no problem.
Internet problem.
Yeah,
Like network, yes. Network
yeah,
issue.
good.
Okay, so let's continue. My next question is like, what keeps you motivated every day?
What keeps me motivated? Well, to be honest, I'm not motivated every day. And I think that's a problem that a lot of people have. But I do re-find my motivation. I do have drops with it. But what keeps me motivated every day is that um, I think it's the benefits that good leadership can bring. So it makes me, even if it's not going great, I know that the more people I can help be better leaders, in the long run, the better things will be. So that's what motivates me. And I see a lot of bad leadership, and that um, depresses me. So working to try and help create good leaders is what keeps me motivated. And the fact that my approach is simple and easy to understand, and if people get to hear it, that they'll benefit from it. That's what motivates me. And people like yourself,
Great.
and people like yourself asking me to come on podcasts and talk about it as well.
That's good. So, what legacy would you like to leave behind as a leader, author, and coach?
What's the legacy I'd like to leave behind?
Yes,
I'd, I'd like to train 1 million people to be better leaders.
great. That's good.
That's a big impact. If I can impact 1 million people and improve their leadership, that would be awesome.
Really, exactly. So, thank you so much, Mr. Gordon, for sharing your experiences and leadership insights with us today. It's been an honor learning from your journey and the powerful lessons you have shared. I'm sure our audience will walk away inspired to lead with charity, like clarity, purpose, and action. We truly appreciate your time and presence. So, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so Allah Hafiz everyone. Goodbye.